Introducing Jess Remnitz.
I like to discount problems because I feel that problems should discount themselves. What I mean by that is when it comes to a problem, I feel if you ignore it for long enough, it'll just go away. I'm currently in the middle of one of those longer problems to go away. And it started with my wife saying, "Do you know we have bees in our chimney?" I sort of ignored her, and she knows me pretty well. So she repeated herself, "If you go over by the fireplace and listen, you'll hear bees." I waited till she left the room, and then I snuck into our living room over by the fireplace and I listened. Sure enough, bees. But as I just told you, when it comes to problems, if you ignore them for long enough, the problem will go away. A few weeks later, I noticed that we had bees banging their heads against our pane glass window. The sun was just burning them to a crisp. They'd fall on the floor, and our cats would start batting them around. The poor things were doing little spins, and I swear bees know how to do break dancing. But my cats were getting some entertainment out of it, and I felt like, well, you know, they're having some fun, maybe even if it's at the expense of the bees. So I quickly swept up the fallen soldiers, put them outside. Everything is taken care of. But then my wife walks over to me and says, "Have you noticed that we have bees in our living room?" I sheepishly ignored what she said, but I ran over to the fireplace and I found a big sheet of cardboard and put it in front of our fireplace. And for about 2 or 3 weeks, everything was quiet, no bees on our glass. But then they were back. And my wife said, "Are you going to do something about that?" So I walked down to my neighbor. He's an ex-beekeeper. This guy is big and burly. He's got arms that are all puffed up, and it's puffed up because all those years of bee stings. I mean, they're all red. It looks like he's in a permanent state of bee euphoria. He says, "Jess, what you need to do is we need to smoke them out." And he's got this little oil can. He said, "Let's go up on the roof and let's take care of this." We go up. He looks down. He says, "They're too far down. It's not going to work." So my wife asked me, "So how'd it go?" I said, "It's complicated." And she said, "No, it's not complicated. You just don't want to pay to have someone remove the bees." Well, she's right. I don't. But I capitulate and I find a card saying, "Mr. Beekeeper." And I invite him over to get on the roof. And he says the same thing. He looks down and says, "They're too far down. We're going to have to pour concrete over them." I said, "No, that's not happening." So I take his card and say, "Thank you." And I put it back up where the bees are. They can take care of that card. So then I come up with this brilliant idea. My wife's gone for a few hours. I grab some logs, throw it in the fireplace, start a fire, and it gets really, really hot. I know this is going to get them out. I go outside, I look up, they're still coming and going as if nothing's happening. I walk back into the house and I hear from the fireplace, "We're not leaving." Really? I'm getting a little bit upset now. So I go outside, I grab some leaves, I grab some grass, wet grass, and I throw it on the fireplace. and smoke is going right up the chimney. And I run outside and I look again, and the bees still coming in and out as if nothing's happened. I go back into the house and I hear again, "We told you, we're not leaving." And then at that very precise moment, that smoke that was going up the chimney decides to billow out from the front of our fireplace, filling our whole house with smoke. I know my wife's going to be back in an hour, so I quickly open the windows and the doors and turn on the fan. And then I sit on the couch, and I'm not a reader, and I act like I'm reading. And my wife comes back and she says, "Is that smoke? Did you?" I run to the corner of the house that I know is safe, but she follows me and she says, "You know, these bees are a lot smarter than you are." And that's when I got my second idea. I went to Home Depot and I bought some venting pipe and a 90 and some more venting pipe. This was going to be the war of attrition. I put that over their entrance. They would fly out, and guess what? They wouldn't find their way home. And eventually they'd all be gone. Well, it didn't work. And my neighbors started to think I was kind of crazy, as well as my son. So I took that jungle gym down from off the roof, and I came up with even a better idea. I stuffed pillows down the chimney. And you know what? Those bees managed to drill a hole right through that. So about a week ago, it was a hot summer day. I said, okay, this is it. I am really frustrated. I got on the roof, took a stick, and I just jammed that pillow as far down the chimney as possible. And you know what happened? All of the sudden, a miracle happened. A row of bees, about 10, showed up, batting their wings as fast as they could, and they took off. Another row behind them, they took off. Another row. They were leaving. They were leaving. I win. And you know how you see a hurricane from a satellite and you see that middle section? That was me in a swarm. There's some special lotions and special ointment to take care of multiple bee stings. Madam Toastmaster.